when they went, goddamn, I be trying to use the bigger words and shit. When they want to
gotta get this shit right. Take your time, fam.
damn, like when you know the word I'm trying to use, like when they just because they want to claim their Indian heritage, they would, you know what I'm saying? They would kill them motherfuckers and shit.
Steal your shit.
Yeah.
Lack of better word, steal your shit.
Yeah. So that's how they wiped out motherfuckers. It went because like how they got us thinking, but they had us food for a minute.
I think the word he was looking for is paper genocide.
Paper genocide.
I think that's the phrase he was looking for. Word, they paper genocide the hell out that shit, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no like. So much shit don't make motherfucking sense, man. I mean, like, it doesn't matter if I stay on the topic he's talking about, or if I jump to something else that revolves around Native Americans. Like, so much shit don't fucking add up. You gotta use your fucking head to this shit, man. Like, they're not gonna clearly tell you this shit, but they're telling you right in front of your face some shit just don't add up. I mean, like, for example, perfect example. They tell you Nat Turner was a fucking slave, right? They tell you Nat Turner was a slave, started an uprise, right? And this, that, and the third. Got all of these other slaves from other plantations and shit to join in his onslaught, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then they gonna turn around and tell you they took the motherfucker to trial. Hold up. This is like the mid 1800s, some shit like that. 1820, 1840, somewhere about that time frame, right? And you mean to tell me that they took the slaves to fucking trial? Before slaves was even fucking let free in 1865? They took a slave to fucking trial. Think about that shit, man. This shit don't make no fucking sense. None. Ain't no way in the hell. He wasn't a slave. He couldn't have been. You say, what the fuck you taking the slave to trial for? You can't tell me that shit and in the same token tell me that when the slave ran away from the plantation that he was hawked the fuck down and if caught, returned back to the damn slave master and the slave master did what the fuck he did with him. Possibly hung his ass for running the fuck away or beat the shit out of him, cut off a fucking limb, whatever. You know, those are shit that we have been told. So like how the fuck are we gonna sit up here and believe that you took a fucking slave to trial? That made no fucking sense.
And then like you know what I'm saying, like how we learned and shit that slavery didn't even they had us thinking that when slavery started, these motherfuckers was just off the gate hardcore slaves. They wouldn't even like that.
Word.
Until what was like bro said like the 1680s, some shit around there. Could be a little wrong, but yeah, something like that.
1680s.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. That's beautiful. You said that shit because I've been pondering on that shit for a minute, bro. Check this out, man.
Mm-hmm.
When did they tell us they got here to America? North America. Okay, there's not Columbus and shit like that. Mm-hmm. When did they get to North America? When did they start colonizing North America?
About 1600s?
About 1607, 1619, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you mean to tell me that if that's the case, right?
Mm-hmm.
That they knew where they was going to. They already had the landscape laid the fuck out. They already knew this shit before they got here.
Mm-hmm.
They already had the blueprints and all that shit, right?
Right.
So they come over here knowing that they need slaves already off the dick.
Mm-hmm.
And put them into that kind of treatment to till their land and all that shit. How? So you really want me to believe that so that means that y'all had a setup of slavery in fucking England before y'all got over here. That means y'all was already running through Africa and enslaving motherfuckers and taking them to England and then bringing them here. But that's not the case because that's not what y'all got in your history books. Y'all tell us that slavery started here. Y'all tell us that y'all got here. Mm-hmm. Y'all tell us that y'all tried to enslave the Indians and then y'all couldn't do it. So y'all went to Africa to get the motherfucking African. Okay, so now you want me to believe that you ran to Africa to go get some motherfuckers from Africa, right? You want me to believe that shit, right? And they came over here to till a land that they had no ideas of how this fucking land is to be cultivated. They don't know nothing about this fucking land. You gonna tell me that they stopped trying to enslave the Indians because the Indians knew the land, they could easily slip the fuck away. Okay. Well, look, that makes sense to a certain extent. But use your fucking head. If you take me, you come grab me from another country or continent, and you bring me to a new area, if I don't want to be subdued to this shit, guess what I'm gonna do? Run. I don't need to know the fucking land. All I need to do is get away from your ass. So that shit makes no fucking sense. You gonna tell me that they went to Africa, got some motherfuckers from Africa to enslave them here so they couldn't run? Because they don't know their landscape? That makes sense to who? Not to me. Because if I didn't want to be under that shit, I'll fucking run regardless. And then you gonna later on tell me that you had runaway slaves. So how the fuck do you just make sense right then and there? You didn't. You sound dumb as shit. You gonna tell me that y'all have runaway slaves during the up until 1865, right? When you're supposedly abolished slavery. Y'all had slaves up until then running the fuck away. But you just told me that you tried to do this shit to the Indians. You couldn't enslave them because they knew the landscape, but they can fucking run away. Then why the fuck y'all having problems with slaves running the fuck away then? For a period of about 300 years. It don't make sense. Stop it. Tell the truth. I don't need no damn book. I don't need a book. I can get a book. I can read each and every one of them goddamn books. Cool, no problem, because it just helps me to break the shit down and analyze it a hell of a lot better. But according to what the fuck I know, I don't need a book. All I need is common fucking sense and to understand shit. And shit don't add the fuck up, man. I don't give a damn what topic you want to bring up, man. If I have any prior knowledge of the topics from being indoctrinated in school, all I have to do is just simply reanalyze the shit and make sense out of it. It's just that simple. If I want to further more deeper that shit, then I can get a book. Then I can Google some shit. Then I can come on here on YouTube and look at other people's shit or whatever. You know, but that's only if and when I choose to furthermore understand something that I don't have understandings of or never heard about. But I don't have to read a book. I don't have to take a book and pinpoint to you certain shit. Just like when you tell a motherfucker that the black man is here first, he was the first man on planet Earth. This planet Earth.
Exactly.
Fuck the continent.
Earth. Yeah.
Fuck the country. Fuck the location.
Earth.
This planet Earth. There's so much trouble with understanding that shit.
Speak, fam.
I don't give a damn what historian you go to look at, what scientists you look at. They got fucking issues. And they historians. And scientists and shit. Right? Mm-hmm. But you gonna tell me, or you gonna show me, anytime you show me in history where where the whites has been to colonize land, there's people there already. And the people who are there already are of copper descent. Melanin descent.
Right.
Swarty, tawny, brunette. Pick a word, motherfucker. Any one of the words I just said. Pick one. They all mean black.
And then I just want to throw this.
Or they all describe something dark. If you don't want to use the word black, they all describe somebody dark. Period.
Black is Ethiopian, black or more. All that shit.
The word more. That title has got very loose. I ain't gonna lie, I did some digging on that one. You know what I'm saying? There's certain shit you gotta do some digging on. But the term more is understood loosely. And that shit is a broad understanding. It's not just simply somebody who's dark skinned. It could also mean somebody who's from the Morocco Empire. It could also allude to somebody who is a Muslim. It could also allude to somebody who is a fair-bearing, who knows how to operate a ship, who knows how to navigate. You know what I mean? So the term more is got stretched to so many other branches of understanding. So that's a term that should not be used lightly. And when you use it, I hope you use it in the right format and all that shit. But that is a very broad term. You can it's very descriptive on so many levels. You might want to stay away from that word. You may also want to stay away from it because they're not the Aboriginal of North America.
Preach.
They're gonna try to tell you that they are, but it's not true. They know it. If you want to simply prove that shit, look at the treaties that was made in the past. Who has the most treaties made with the United States of America? It ain't the Moors.
And why don't they teach you or teach us in school about that motherfucker Plecker? Why don't teach us about that clown and what he did?
I mean, yeah, I might want to retract that last statement, earlier statement I made. Sometimes you gotta read.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just gotta read, man. Yeah. If there's things that you don't have prior knowledge on, and you trying to gain prior knowledge, read.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Read. And I mean, like, reading is never should ever be diminished. You should never look down upon reading. You know what I mean? But don't subdue to reading and limit yourself on common sense. Don't. What sense does that make? Because the problem with that is you have people who will read and regurgitate.
Mm-hmm.
That means whatever the hell they just read, they possibly memorized that shit and can spit the shit right back out to you. But did they understood what they read? 9 times out of 10, they did not. 9 times out of 10, they ain't even trying to really break down what was read. So, yeah. And most importantly, when it comes to reading, you gotta understand words.
True.
You may think you understand the word, you really don't. Because so many of us deal with these words on an everyday basis and give it our own interpretive meaning. So, if I say fuck, you may look at it with a different understanding. I could be talking about having sexual affairs. I could be talking about something not being right. I could be talking about something, I don't know, but that, you know what I'm saying? See how I can use that word in so many different ways. So where I can have a conversation, I'll be like, fuck you, right? And you just automatically may take that negative. But it can be meant as you silly, you being stupid, you crazy. Like, and all those right there can it's simply just say, yo, boy, you got me laughing. I find you funny. But instead of saying that, I'd be like, man, fuck you. You what? You crazy. Yo, you stupid. See, like, but you know the meaning of all those words, like to the root. Oh, you think you do. But anyway, the general understanding when you hear those words is what you will most likely have come to mind. Right? So if you don't have a general understanding on majority of words, or you give majority of words or certain words your own intentional understanding, then you can see how easily a conversation can be mishad. It's just that simple. Then to further downbreak that shit, these prefix, suffix, and the root lateral of a word all have an original meaning to it. So wordplay is very deep. If you don't understand that shit, read. Anything else, my nigga, you gotta add?
Yeah, not really though. But this the only thing I was gonna say a while ago. And then like what's crazy, man, like with this history shit. Like Wayne said, man, like them fuckers, they ain't even got they fat straight, man. Like they know this shit is all. Once you just like I just say this, once you start reading this shit, bro, and free your mind, you see straight through all this bullshit. And like how they try to say the first so-called Negroes, because you know at first they were just calling them Negroes, and then they switched the shit to was it Africans? It was Negroes first. Then they changed to something else.
Negro colored.
It was some shit like that, but y'all can go find it.
Negro
shit.
American. Then later got pushed to black, and then by 1989. Jackson.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, I know.
Okay,
I know you going. I'm talking about like when they got the first so-called Africans here in 1619. When they first got them, they was just calling them the first Negroes, or whatever. Then over time, they changed it, I think, to Africans or something like that. But
facts.
Okay, like I was saying, if you know when you start reading or whatever, how could that be or whatever? You know, so when you read history, they like Wayne said, they been running to people who look like us. And it's, you know, just the one I never I know probably some later than that when they had got Negro slaves in 1536, and I forgot what it was, but it was somewhere in the Americas.
If I want to say the Mississippi region.
Yeah.
I want to say that's part. What is it? South Carolina region. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Florida region. Yeah. Whether you want to believe it or not, I mean, see, this is where you need to read. I'm not gonna argue. I'm not. I'm just simply not.
Go do your research.
Yeah. So I mean, like, matter of fact, do your research on the Pequot Indians. Now, this is where or why we celebrate Thanksgiving. If y'all didn't know. Because we're celebrating they victorious win over the Pequot Indian. And if I'm pronouncing that wrong, I'm sorry. But yeah. So even when you go to deal with that, right? You're going to see that like we said earlier, about 1607, 1619. 1619 is what they really glorify that. So let's stick with that, right?
That's they big.
So we go to 1619, right? And then you learn when this battle took place between them, you're not going to hear them say anything about them having slaves.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to read that. Even if you watch the documentary like I did, well, a little video clip like I did, whatever, you can find it. It's on YouTube. It was original on ETV or PBS, whichever one you know it as. And the shit said nothing or showed you nothing. Matter of fact, when they went to war, they didn't have niggas goddamn fighting for them. They didn't have their slaves fighting for them. Where were they? So I'm asking, where was a slave in 1619? That took place in about 1637. The wars between the so-called European and the Pequot Indian took place between 1637. Around that time frame, 1638, something like that. It was the 1630s, period. Look it up. They had no niggas fighting for them. No Africans. So when did you become a slave in Africa if you came from by way of slavery by Africa? Because it wasn't 1619. Tell them to give you an accurate date on when they start importing slaves from Africa.
And then down
because I'm still looking.
That shit real. And then them, but like I said about what's I just said Plecker, but what's that fucker first name? Alan Plecker, some shit like that. But either way, y'all know who I'm talking about.
I remember Plecker.
Just type in Virginia Plecker, he'll pop up. But they don't even teach. They don't even teach us about him. They also don't even teach us about by you just bringing up the slave boats and shit or whatever. They don't even teach you about goddamn John Hawkins.
Billy. If they do,
I never heard anything.
It's very little.
Yeah,
you might hear his name, but you're not gonna hear too much.
Yeah, I've
you're
never
not gonna hear anything. You might have heard his name.
I don't remember hear that shit. Y'all probably.
I don't recall hearing nothing.
Nothing in school. No telling what they.
The name sound familiar, but that could be because of my recent research. But that's neither here nor there.
And also this, like Dan Calloway says though, we also know we got to think about the history difference in the other countries and shit too. So. Yeah, man, they got the world fucked up
all the way. Read, research, ask why.
Question shit.
Since you've been out of high school, since you've been out of middle school, because some of y'all quit school, in middle school. You know what I'm saying? Look, some of y'all checked out of middle school. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But since you stopped going to school, oh yeah, I forgot college for those of y'all who went to college, who followed your education, supposedly. For those of y'all, right, when is the last time you honestly did some research on some shit? When the last time you did some research? How big is the state you live in? What's the capital of your state? When was your state established? When was your city established? How many people live in your city? That's this bullshit. That shit mean nothing. But still though, anything simple. Like, where's the origins of cocaine from? Who can tell me that? I bet you could tell me how much Jay-Z got. How much Diddy got. I bet you could tell me what's the new fucking fashion out right now. What's the hottest fucking song. But where they got rubber from? Let's talk about that. You know that? Where's the oldest pyramids in the world found that? You know that? What do you know? Where's the oldest fossil at? You know that? You think you know? Sorry, let me clarify that question a little bit clearer so you can understand what the fuck I'm saying. Where is the oldest human remain skeletal fossil at? Because skeleton is a fossil, whether you want to admit that or not. Telling me dinosaur bones ain't fossils? Either way it goes. Where's it at? And where did it retrieve it from? But you know. What you know about mommies with dreadlocks? That's the last question I got for you. I'm done. I'm fucking done. Anything else, my bro?
That's it, bro. Just do some research.